thing up.
Firing up.
I just hit record.
All right, boom.
I haven't hit record yet. I have not hit record yet. I will tell you when I've hit record. I've hit not yet. Recording.
Okay.
Oh, I felt that. Like when
All
you
right.
hit record,
You
I got
felt
a little
it.
tingling
Every
sensation.
fiber of your being
Yeah,
got a
I'm like,
tingling sensation.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good afternoon for those
Good
of you on the
afternoon.
East Coast with me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
How's that feel, Rob? Do you like doing the show better in the
I
afternoon?
do like I like doing News AF on the East Coast better because I feel like that there was so much to get ready for. I like having a couple of extra hours to prep on a Tuesday.
To eat your toast and drink your tea.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Yeah.
center yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got some stuff done before we came on, and now ready to locked and loaded.
Good. Very good.
Okay. Have some more time to do some look for the very best stories.
Yeah. Danny, are you in a hotel?
I've been kicked out of my bolt hole.
You're in
Why?
the master? Where are you?
It's becoming a workout room.
For who?
Oh, should we talk about this on the podcast?
Nah, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Yes.
Just for me, I work out in the most ghetto way possible, right? And
Mhm.
have for years. But I
Wait,
work
so
out.
when you said I've been kicked out of the bolt hole, it
You
made it
kicked
sound like
yourself
that
out.
there was another person
Okay, so,
besides
yeah,
you that made
my-
that call.
my parents for Christmas gave me like a home gym, basically.
Oh,
But
Bowflex?
my
yeah, were they
wife,
hinting at something?
no,
Yeah.
my wife, who was more excited for that than me, because she can't work out unless it's like professional looking stuff. I just work out. I could do the Rocky Balboa in Russia workout.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Danny. When Danny was single, one of his workouts would be he would take 2 ice climbing picks, hang them up on a patio, up on a
pull-ups,
deck,
yeah.
and then he'd do pull-ups from ice climbing picks from the deck below.
So I don't need much, but the reason I got kicked out is
Danny a couple of cinder blocks.
exactly. But
Yeah.
my wife decided, oh, by the way, this is the room we're putting all this in. She's been behind it all. She picked out all
Got
the
it.
gear, and I'm like,
any
you know what?
wallpaper, any like
She probably will
muscle man
inspiring.
wallpaper.
Oh my gosh, of course,
lifting
dude.
anvils.
Arnold and his group of bros. at
Oh,
their
dude,
peak.
that would be so rad.
Carlos,
Honestly,
whatever his name was.
yeah, that would be. Really
I had
rad.
that book. Most of my exercises came from Arnold's book,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and those guys were so ripped. I wish I had a steroid bird feeder in my room. I could just go sip from time to time.
Is that what they were doing? The bird feeder?
Yeah, I think it was just a bird feeder mixed with water and steroids, and they would just go up to and get a couple drops and then go back to just ripping it
That's
up.
what you got to do.
Yeah. Pink Elastics in the chat says only Danny can kick Danny out.
That is true. I have to volunteer. You know what? I allow myself to be kicked out.
By yourself.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into the News AF here today. And a lot of fun stuff to talk about. All right. Here we go.
Mhm.
Hey, everybody. What's going on? I'm Rob Sestrino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories here for the week of January 18th, 2022, here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yeah, that's right. News AF back again here with the guys to talk about everything happening on our planet Earth that's of interest to the listeners of News AF. And here is a man who, of course, is Pickleball's top influencer for rocking the Gamma Pickleball gear. Here he is. It's Tyson Apostle.
What's up? Yeah, I'm all branded out today. I got my Gamma Pickleball shirt, Fila tracksuit jacket, Pickle Play hat, and just missing a couple other partners, but still, that's pretty good. Three
Does
is what
Fila
I've
make
found.
tearaway pants?
I don't own any tearaway pants from Fila, but they probably do.
Just be cool, like to show up like as a flex, just rip those pants off.
I mean,
How do you know?
Yeah. Is that what you would do, Danny? Where it's sort of then it's like, you would just like walk up and like, okay, this guy doesn't look that great. And then you break away your
my
pants.
gosh,
like, oh my
quads,
God.
reveal my quads.
Did you see those quads?
Here's the thing. If you're going to do the tearaway pants, you need to practice at home, because if you can only partially tear away your pants, it's just embarrassing. Just
Yeah.
go home. It's either all or nothing. You either take off those pants in one fell swoop,
Mhm.
or you don't even attempt it. It's a big, scary risk to try and tear your pants off in public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have experience with this, or that's just what
No,
you're
I just think
assuming?
about it all the time. Like, think about Hulk ripping his shirt, right? What if he
Yeah.
could only partially rip it, and he's like, "Oh wait, hold on." And then he had to slit his, arms through, and then pull it over his head. Dude,
Yeah.
it just like takes away any kind
Or
of
Hulk
authority.
Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, who
that's
did I say?
You said
You said the Hulk.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Hulk.
Well, the Hulk
well,
too.
I thought you were talking about the Incredible Hulk, or
No,
Hulk
but
Hogan?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Incredible Hulk as well.
No, his came off voluntarily, but his pants always stayed on.
Yeah. So I heard that the Hulk or Hulk Hogan had a pre-cut shirt.
That makes sense because you can't risk a partial tear and then a classic removal.
Mhm.
It just it takes a power move and makes you look pathetic.
Right.
So just be careful, Tyson. If you do go to tear away pants, practice at home, please, before attempting it on court in front of everyone.
All right. And also here with us today, the man, the inventor of the ice pick pull up. It's Danny Bryson.
Yes, Danny Bryson. And also, I mean, we didn't know this until today, a fan of tearaway pants.
Yeah, there is a place for tearaway pants.
Church.
Sure. Yeah, to liven things up just in the middle of the meeting, just stand there like, yes, I feel it. And then
Testify.
Testify. No, beach would be a good place for tearaway pants, especially if you had like a formal dinner before going to the beach.
I've had tearaway pants. I've owned tearaway pants and used them before.
Oh, really? For what? Swimming?
Cyclocross.
Ah, yeah. See, there you go.
Cold bike races, Rob, you'd wear athletic tearaways to warm up in a little bit, and then wear your cycling racing clothes underneath.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It snaps though, right?
Yeah.
I've never owned a pair, so I just always assumed it was a couple snaps.
They snapped. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty majestic. Some slow motion shots of that would be great. Just
I don't think I ripped them off in one swoop. I just like unbuttoned them. But the reason that they were nice is because you could keep your cycling shoes on.
Yeah.
And everything on. That's the whole point of the tearaway, I think, is that you can keep your shoes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
So
all right. That's all I've got to say.
All right. The science of tearaway pants.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for checking out News AF this week. We'll be back to talk more about pants or anything else next week. Yeah. Anything else going on, Danny?
Adventures.
Yeah. Oh, I've been trying to plan adventures.
I saw you skiing some pretty crappy snow out there with.
It hasn't snowed in a while.
With Christoph, as he likes to be called.
I didn't tell you guys this story, but I do have a story. Ooh. We were talking about the metaverse or VR last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
My kid won. I've never seen anyone win a raffle ever.
Okay.
But we went to a roller skating rink, and my kid got a raffle ticket and won a set of Oculus VR goggles.
Nice,
okay.
Dude. The newest
Here's the worst
model.
Part. Here's the word. Yeah, the latest model.
Okay.
The worst part is after they had called it out, the whole roller skate rink is dead quiet, trying to realize who it is. And my kid realizes he's got the ticket and starts screaming, "We got another one! We got another one!" And all of my kids were screaming that. And I was like, yeah. It's not. It's just people are gonna be so upset if they hear you screaming, "We got another one!"
Right.
But yeah, he won. I've never seen that happen. Never.
So yes, I've won. You want me to tell you my raffle story?
I do. I'm very interested because you're
gonna like
rare.
this. So I went to Interbike, which is the largest bicycle convention in at least the United States, and in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And I'm at this because I was working in management, helping operate a bike shop, and I already won Survivor at this point, I think. And I go to this booth of this bike company we work with, and they were like, "Hey, when we first went there, every dealer that worked with this bike shop got a raffle ticket."
Okay.
And so there was like 50 of us. And then they were like, "Hey, Tyson, as like a celebrity, we want you to draw for who wins this pro," because they were sponsoring a pro team in Europe at the time. So it was this team replica bike, which was like it was probably retail, probably like a $3,000 bike.
Wow.
And I was like, "But what if I draw my own number?" They're like, "Well, then you win." And they turned to all the dealers and they're like, "If Tyson draws his own number, is that okay if he still takes the bike?" And everybody's like, yeah, no problem. Reach in, pull out my number. I'm like, boom, I won. And they were like, oh my gosh. And then I am holding the bike like this. Danny, this comes full circle back to Danny. I sold that bike. And with that money, I went on a Chinese vacation with Danny.
Nice. Dude, was anybody, when you looked down to that crowd after you drew that ticket, did you see any angry faces, or had everybody just
a little bit kind of like, that's crazy that he had a full conversation about it and then drew his own number. But that was like just like a little hesitancy, but still good. And because I did use that money to travel China with you, I now realize that I had not won Survivor yet.
You know what? I like hearing stories about people who win raffles, because when you're growing up as a kid and you look at cereal boxes and you look at all these contests, going on, you start to believe that nobody ever wins, because you never see winners. Like, I never saw winners of the McDonald's challenges until later when the scam was exposed. And so it's nice to hear these stories to make me believe and buy for, in the future raffle tickets. Because up until now, I just assumed that it was all rigged. The whole game was rigged.
You're addicted now, huh?
Yeah, now I'm like, dude, we should buy lottery tickets,
raffle
tickets. Every opportunity we have, we should play the game of chance.
Yeah,
we're on.
I already do that.
So.
Yeah. Now, can I ask about the vacation to China? Because when I heard you two talk about your Chinese stories, that I just assumed that you were doing missionary work and had gone to China on the mission.
Destination vacation.
So why did you two decide to go to China as the destination for your vacation?
Danny was taking Chinese Mandarin in school and wanted to get more proficient at it. So he and his family, through some connections, he and his immediate family. So I think
Liz, and Beck,
his oldest. Through connections of Danny's father. Right?
No, school. I just went through the school. Yeah.
Oh, you went through the school? Ended up doing like an internship in China for how many months were you there?
I think 4 months, 5 months.
For 4 months or 5 months. And then I just went out and stayed and visited China, because I thought this is probably the only reason or chance I'll ever get to go to China. And so I applied, got a visa, and flew out to Shanghai. I stayed in Danny's apartment in Shanghai, and then we took the high-speed train that traveled 1,000 miles in 5 hours to Beijing.
Yeah, it might have been a maglev train.
It wasn't the maglev. The maglev's the one
goes
from
to the airport, right?
Yeah. So this was just the high-speed train. And then we went to the Great Wall of China. We had another friend with us, Sam, and we had a great time. I still have some pictures from China, and
we did lose
back on that time.
2 years off our life, though, due to the smog in Beijing, which is just an experience in and of itself. You're like, is this fog? And they're like, no, actually, this is straight up car exhaust that you're breathing in.
And factory.
Like, what an experience.
Yeah, it really was.
This is like a Chinese trademark.
And this was crazy, is that on that high-speed train, you got to see the lay of the land, which was pretty much like a little bit of emptiness, and then a tiny village built around a giant smoking factory. And then a little bit of emptiness, and then a little village built around a giant smoking factory. And that's basically the entire Chinese countryside from Shanghai to Beijing. Was a little bit of farmland and then civilization. And in the center of civilization, instead of a castle, was a giant smoking factory just dumping out a bunch of smoke. Probably that's what they produced, was smoke.
It's like we produce some of the greatest smoke in the world. You know how like you can get air from Tasmania because it's the cleanest air in the world, or you can get some snow.
Dirtiest.
But now you just like bottle up some Beijing air and send it to your best friend and be like, dude, experience China on your own terms in your living room.
I don't think there's you have to be safe, though, because you can't open a bottle of Beijing air in too small of a room, or you could die.
You would black out. Right. So, that's how we basically bonded. Well, we did live in Switzerland together, but this was the ultimate test of friendship. Him to come and hang out with my family.
And it was you and the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what a great friend, Tyson.
Yeah, right? Tyson was. I was blown away that he actually came out and visited.
Yeah. It was great. So Danny and I, when we were single, we had this agreement that if one of us planned a trip or wanted to do a trip and the other one was available, had no reasonable excuse
Not to.
you had to go.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
visited Tyson when he
invited.
raced in Europe almost
Yeah.
every year. You were there at the end of your season.
Mhm.
So we drive around loud Americans in Tyson's team car, offending
Yes.
everyone. Sometimes I
Mhm.
think back to that, I'm a little embarrassed.
How are
by
we
how
not
much of an
dead though?
American
I
I
also
was.
was like, we got taken advantage of a little bit, but we never got like fully taken advantage of. Like none of us ever like got stolen. None of us like nobody kidnapped. Yeah. And I was just like, we just like walked around everywhere like we owned
Yeah.
everything.
When you say you got taken advantage of, well, what happened?
Well, in
We were in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of, Bosnia. Tyson made the mistake of telling
Ordering
the guy
off the menu. I
Yeah.
ordered off the menu.
Yeah, what a mistake. The guy brought him the grossest fish, like a
Mhm.
platter of like probably garbage fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their version of
I think
carp.
that this you've told the story.
Yeah.
I think maybe during our fish fraud days.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
cost like $150 or
No,
something.
yeah, it was like $200.
Mm-hmm.
probably
And then the rental car company also in Prague, Danny, do you remember that?
Right. I do remember that.
We walked around. We pointed out a dent on the car. They said, don't worry about it. Then they charged Danny's card for that exact dent in the car when we returned the car.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened several times with rental cars, and which is why I'm so suspect. And it's just expecting to get ripped off every time I do a rental car.
I take pictures of any like questions.
Yeah, I'll do that too. And now they actually have you do that. This was like
Mhm.
at the beginning of the internet.
They have you
So,
mark it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I always take pictures. of
with the
anything
the
questionable.
day's newspaper.
Yeah, no, just with the date on the because you can look at
Oh,
the
that's right.
details
Proof
on
of
camera.
life.
Mhm.
You can just do it with the camera stamp, time
Yep.
stamp.
Exactly.
But yeah, world travelers, best friends, and podcasters now.
Yep.
Okay.
Brought us together.
Well, let's talk about some of the top stories today.
I thought
And
that was the top story.
that was I said some of the other top stories
Okay.
of the day because I want to talk about what's going on over at FedEx, where FedEx is pushing to get lasers that can destroy missiles set up on new FedEx aircraft. Are we ready for FedEx planes to be armed?
Yes.
Yes, because I ordered a package from
Yes.
Spain 2
Uh-huh.
months ago. It was supposed to be here in 2 weeks. And I can only assume that the jet was blown up by some anti-FedEx fanatic somewhere
Yeah.
along the way because the package hasn't shown up.
Disgruntled person that was waiting for a package said, "Hey, if my package isn't here, nobody's package is getting there."
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if this means protecting my package from the starting point to my house, I am all for it.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? Do the UPS trucks need
Oh yeah,
lasers?
armored
Yes.
UPS trucks.
It's their Second Amendment right to put as
Mhm.
many lasers and missiles
That is
on
true.
any vehicle that they deem necessary. Or
Mhm.
not.
By the way, this doesn't blow up the missile. This just I think confuses the missile, the laser.
Okay. So
Oh.
this is a missile friendly laser. The
Yeah, it
no
just, like-
missiles will be harmed.
It
For
just tells the
anybody
missile
who's a missile enthusiast
To go to a UPS
don't
truck
worry.
rather than a FedEx truck.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw, there was another story attached, kind of related to this. It's been all over the news, that train.
The train. Yeah. Well, the train is a different
Oh.
story.
The train needs anti-human lasers.
The train. They could put lasers on the train.
That's what
the
they need to do.
the
So the
train line.
lasers
Yeah.
aren't damaging to anybody in particular. They just keep the vehicle from getting attacked.
Yeah, like go shine right,
Right.
in their eyes
Yeah,
as they're approaching
okay.
the train. I don't know if Tyson, have you seen this the train robberies? They
No.
go and they rob all the packages out
Where
of these
is
trains.
this?
I think it's just outside of LA.
Wow.
It blew my mind. Like it's a
Mhm.
story that I've been going back to because it keeps showing up, and I just cannot get over how ransacked these trains are. So
listen,
if
listen.
if your package is lost in transit
Mhm.
or just
Mhm.
stuck in transit, there's a good chance that it's somewhere near those train tracks.
Yeah, listen, I think I am not a thief. I do not steal, but you put somebody in a room with a bunch of unopened packages.
You do gamble, and that it's a form of
Eventually,
gambling.
you're excited to open
Mhm.
those packages and see what's in there. And so I think that, like, tighten up on the packages. You can't let that stuff get ransacked.
Mhm.
But
Well, people are robbing the train.
Yeah, it's like the old days.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
people are
Train robbers?
yeah.
Yeah.
The FedEx missile defense system is to prevent, I guess, people with some sort of like ground to air missile from taking down FedEx
But Rob, what I'm
planes.
saying is this is the same thing. This is the FedEx is like a giant Kinder egg in the air, right?
Mhm.
You just
Yeah.
crack that buddy open and let it rain surprises all over the
On
Right,
ground.
but I don't think
So-
it works like a pinata. I think if the plane goes down with a missile, I don't think it necessarily like rains, mana from heaven.
Did you watch that show with Tom Hanks? Where
Well,
he
I
became
was,
best
I
friends
was,
with the ball?
yeah, I did. I had seen the documentary about the
Yes.
guy that from FedEx who was
Yeah.
in a plane that
Yeah.
crashed on the island and then had nothing but the FedEx supplies that I did. Yes.
But some of the stuff definitely survives. So what Danny and his adventure gang needs to do is go to these places where these planes are going down and adventure out there and find treasures.
Or
dude, so
maybe
much treasure.
maybe Danny and the crew could could you land a helicopter on a plane, Danny? Are you
Ooh.
sophisticated enough
Oh,
to be able
dude,
to do
I
that
that?
would
couldn't-
be sweet.
Vin
Yeah.
Diesel could,
Kick the door in
but I could not.
and say, look, take this plane wherever you want. The packages are going
Are
with
ours.
us.
And then we push them out the back into a nice, comfortable place where we can just open all of those boxes at our leisure.
I want to go back to the trains again.
Yeah.
I've not seen any headlines on the train thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are people stopping the trains?
No, so that it's like a station, a transfer station.
Okay.
So the trains stop for
Okay.
1 hour, whatever. It doesn't matter, and people are waiting in concealed to the side,
Okay.
and then they swarm the trains and just
hundreds and
ransack.
hundreds and
When
hundreds.
I say I don't know the
Yeah.
numbers, but if you see the damage and the pictures they show is how much is that's just 1 month of these trains getting ransacked. What you see on the ground, they cleaned it up in December, and the pictures they show from the article are
Mhm.
just a month. It is just littered with, and they leave tons of stuff on the ground because they're
Yeah,
only
anything
interested in
that's
things they could
dumb.
resell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of your personalized toys, Tyson, are probably okay. A lot of
Okay.
your
Mhm.
figurines you've ordered are probably okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the train.
You
the
mean
trains-
okay, as in they're just left on
They'll-
the side of the
They're
road
left on
there.
the
I
side.
have to go get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I see here is an overall trend of protecting my packages, and the trains need lasers and probably like full train taser mode.
Mhm.
The planes need anti-missiles. The UPS trucks need maybe some armor. Anything to protect my package
Mm-hmm.
from getting from Spain to me,
Man.
because there's a lot of danger between.
This
Spain
is
and
like
me.
the Wild West out here, man.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Or the
Uh,
pirate days.
Or the pirate
Yeah.
days.
The
Yeah.
return of
Mhm.
pirates. I mean, there are pirates. Remember that was a big
There's a
thing
movie.
over there by the Suez Canal. The pirates going out from whatever country I can't remember and ransacking. Tom Hanks also in a
Yeah.
documentary
Mhm.
about that,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is interesting. to
I saw
think
that
The
about.
one.
Somalis, the Somalis pirates. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
Mhm.
pirates, and now we have train robbers, and I mean, what's next is just the. I don't know
think of
why you'd
something.
want to blow up a
The
FedEx
guy with the
plane.
twisty curled up mustache probably is
Mhm.
what's coming.
What I want to
Yeah.
know is what intel did FedEx get that they're like, oh, that's it. We need lasers on our planes. Because this doesn't just come out of the blue.
Yeah. It does not happen.
Docs in the chat
often.
says-
Yeah.
Docs in the chat says that Tom Hanks has had an interesting life.
Yeah.
There have been 2 high-profile missile attacks in recent years, but those attacks appear to have been from where the plane was misidentified.
Yeah, in 2003, a DHL plane was hit taking off from Baghdad, which is what I would expect. So if you do have a FedEx plane landing in some hot zones,
Mhm.
then maybe
What are
the
you-
lasers
What are you ordering, Danny, that's coming from,
from
Baghdad?
Baghdad?
Yeah.
Oh, some beautiful tapestries, some
Okay.
dates.
Breakaway tapestries. Yeah. hmm
Okay.
Okay.
Very cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's tell the story of a fight that broke out where a Michael Jackson impersonator was in a street fight in Las Vegas. Tyson, did you see this?
No, but I'm gonna say that if he's any good at looking identical to Michael Jackson, he's losing the fight.
No, he won the fight.
Yeah, but did
What?
you watch the fight? I
Was
watched
it a
the
dance fight?
No, you know what? Michael Jackson should have great footwork when it comes to fighting. But
Sure.
they did the thing that I would do. I think it's just natural not to want to get your face hit. They did like the thing, where you're swinging at each other but leaning backwards. It's only that Michael got in on the guy and got him grappled
Okay.
that he won the fight. Because the guy who can get in and grapple you,
match.
yeah, it all comes down to grapple. I think grapple will always win the fight over leaning back, throwing Hail Marys over and over and over again.
Do we know?
Tired till you get exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know why Michael Jackson was fighting this man? In
Yeah,
Vegas,
the guy
Danny?
I read. I think the guy pulled his hair or was pulling his hair. He was messing with him.
Yeah. You can't physically.
No, that's
touch
assault.
Someone like that. That's already assault. Yeah.
So good. Michael Jackson. I don't know. I didn't know there was that many impersonators, but yeah, he got in there. That's the thing. If you want to win a fight, you have to take a chance and go in. I feel like I don't know if I'm that kind of guy, but
Or
you
be
have
the
go
first
in.
to strike. Like, oh, you're gonna fight? Yeah, I want to fight. Do you want to fight? Yeah, I want to fight. Okay, we both want to fight. Let's talk about fighting. Punch. Whoever does that first, like punch, while there's talking about fighting,
And
wins.
record
but then
that
also,
conversation because you need to. You have to record that you got consent. That it was.
Is
in fact a
that
fight,
how it
right?
works? I think whoever hits
Is it
first is
fight?
probably going to be held accountable.
Yeah, you should be. Words are. That's not violence. So you got to say, "Are you okay if we fight and I punch you in the face?
Can
And he
I
says
punch
yes.
you in the face?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, sweet, boom,
Yeah. Can I punch you in the face again, sir?
and then you break your hand
Because then they can't press charges.
Yeah. There was a kid in junior high once. I grew up in a
You've told us a very violent junior high.
correct. And one kid, did I already tell you the story about the kid who they got in a fight? The one kid turned to walk away from the fight. The other kid punched him in the back of the head, shattered his forearm, and pooped his pants at the same time from the pain of shattering his forearm. Ran to the bathroom to try and flush his poopy undies down the toilet, but a crowd of people followed him in there, and his entire life was ruined forever.
That's the problem
Oh
with
my
fighting.
God.
Oftentimes there are no winners because the body is fragile.
Very
and unless
very
you're
fragile,
you're an MMA guy or girl or a boxer, it's like I don't know how to throw or take a punch. So
And also-
neither option is good for me. And so maybe my best option is to curl up in a ball or try the grapple. Maybe
And also,
I can.
walking around in junior high claiming that you're an MMA fighter is going to get you in so many fights as people are like, I'm going to say you're not, and I'm going to fight you to be the king of the fighting. And so, like,
King
if
of
you're taking karate or something,
Are you
in
the king
junior
of
high-
fighting or the king of pop, sir?
Yeah, if you're taking karate in junior high and you're advertising that you take karate, you're going to get a lot of challengers. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of challengers.
Yeah.
Probably by an F
Um,
dude.
Yeah, that's what happened in the Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So you want to see the Michael Jackson impersonator in the fight?
Yes.
Yeah, let's study
Okay.
some of the moves.
All right. Let me see if I can play this. And
I could already tell they're doing the lean back.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can get this on. Okay. Here's Michael Jackson versus this guy.
I'm not scared of that guy in the green.
Oh, see?
Oh, he
Got
takes
in.
him down with the leg sweep.
Oh, I didn't see the
And a
leg
choke.
sweep. That's what I'm saying, though. He got a grip. He got a grip on that guy.
And then
Oh.
a leg hold. Oh,
Yeah.
he's grabbing his nards.
Oh, dude. No, he's not.
Oh, his shirt.
Yeah.
His shirt. Why is
Yeah.
nobody stepping in to help Michael Jackson?
They think it's part of the show.
Oh, geez. Now he's pulling his hair
Oh,
more.
now he's got a choke
Now
hold.
he's gonna
But see what I
choke.
mean? He got a grip on that guy early on, and that's what brought the
That guy is clearly very drunk.
yeah. He deserves this.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is all part of, it's not part of the show, but like in Vegas as a Michael Jackson impersonator, you have to assume that these drunk people are going to harass you and be ready for it. But also, you're not going to be intimidated by a guy who can barely stand up.
Man, fights other than fights by professionals, fights look so stupid. They really do.
Unless
just
it's
embarrassing
properly
for all-
choreographed
Yeah.
or high level professional. Because even like low level, like you're like, oh, the farm league to the MMA, you're like, this isn't real fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's just embarrassing to watch for both parties. It just doesn't look like the movies. I want to see spin kicks, roundhouses.
Do you think that the Michael Jackson impersonator is very grateful that he's wearing a costume so that in this viral video, nobody really knows who he is?
100%.
The other guy's
100%.
face is just like, we see his face a bunch of times. So that dude will never be able to live this down. I bet his name is in the comments there on that video. We can find it.
Oh, I know that. That's Troy. That's Chad.
That's Chad from
Chad
Ohio.
Chadowski. From
Yeah, that guy's
Ohio.
too old to be Chad.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah. Okay. All right. I have some big news. All right.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. That we have a new leader. Okay.
Okay.
Tell me who to worship.
There is a three-eyed rare calf that was born with 4 nostrils, and people are pumped up.
Dude,
Hold
nothing
up.
gets me more pumped up than a
A
mutant
baby
animal.
cow with 3 eyes and 4 nostrils.
Mm-hmm.
How old now? Is it still
Um,
alive? Because a
yeah.
lot of these mutants don't live very long.
Okay, let's see. How long is it alive?
It's
That's
disturbing, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
This
We don't
animal.
want to see a picture.
Oh, I mean, you probably should see it if it is your new leader. You need to
Mhm.
get comfortable.
I
with
need
looking
to make
at it.
sure
Born
that I'm not
January
shocked.
14th. So
January 14th,
just
4 days ago?
Baby newborn calf.
I'm not going to start worshiping this thing until it's at least 2 months old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wait a while because you don't want to make a mistake, right?
I don't
Mhm.
think this thing and it's not because somebody's going to kill it. It's because generally when you're born with this type of thing as an animal, like they always have like the pictures of like the 2-headed snakes and stuff like that. They don't live very long because their innards are all amok.
You know what's interesting? I thought this was a different story because I read a story about a 2-headed cow that was born like a month or 2 ago. So it's tough. Now I don't know who to worship. Is it the 2-headed cow?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a totally new deity. I just popped up on the scene. I got to wrap my head around this, and I need to choose.
And then
Right.
I saw a story also that I was going to pull about a woman that has 2 sets of her female reproductive organs, and that she uses one for rearing children, and the other she has an OnlyFans for.
Wait, wait. How did she decide which one got the OnlyFans? Because that's
I don't. Well, I don't. Maybe she flipped the coin. I don't know.
And why just one get the OnlyFans? It seems like interesting. I'll have to have Tyson look into this more.
One was for business and one was for pleasure, and that was it. Actually, probably the same one. I'm not. I don't know.
You just saw the headline and then you moved on with your life, and now you're recalling it.
I'm recalling it. Yeah.
I would honestly rather worship the 2-headed cow.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's going to ask a lot less of me and be a lot cheaper to worship.
If the cow has 2 heads, do they need to use both of the Oculus Rifts
now they need
help increase its milk production?
Now they need 4. Remember? Because it was 2, 1 for each eye for a normal cow, standard cow. But for the 2-headed, that's a lot of Oculus. At that point, you're losing money with your milk investment. But if it's deity, if it's like holy milk, you're selling that at a premium. I don't know. You might be able to make your money back.
Yeah. The veterinarian on call says that they do not believe this is the reincarnation of a god, as some in the area believed. They believe it's just some sort of a mutation.
Well, I mean, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
And he's entitled to that. But In this time and age, people need some hope.
A sign.
And it sounds like the three-eyed cow might be bringing some hope. So,
all right. So, all right. More on that story as it develops.
I'm excited.
Prices have been going up. That's been no secret. Prices of meat as well. And as the price of specifically pork has gone higher, that there are some people who are turning to an alternative source of meat, and that is the meat of a crocodile. Tyson,
I thought you were going to say a three-eyed, four-nostril cow.
No,
Already? Big old croc steak?
No. In
Crocodile?
Thailand, the demand for crocodile meat has gone through the roof.
Are crocodiles
not a good thing?
Protected, though? I feel like crocodiles aren't. I hardly ever see them in Arizona. So how rare are they?
I'm with Tyson. It seems like we've got the pig thing down. We could mass breed them. They make multiple kinds of meat that are delicious. I feel like if we start going down the crocodile road, eventually there will be no crocodiles.
Yeah, and I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but like, are there crocodile farms? How are like that's I, for the novelty of something, will usually try it. But I have to say that I don't know.
Why don't they do python steaks and meat, in Florida where they've got the invasive species?
That's what they should do. Yeah.
Turn that into some
We should only be eating invasive species.
Yeah.
And bugs.
That's just that's a solution. And Florida's got tons of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the monkeys, the hepatitis monkeys, probably now up to like a population of near 1 million, I'm sure, in some remote corner of Florida. They got the python. So it's a python monkey. I don't know.
Do you think that this will be a popular political platform to run
on? In what, Thailand? To run on the croc meat platform in Thailand, or to run on the python meat platform here?
Yeah, here.
It would be interesting to hear the discussion.
I don't think so. I don't think the platform. I think it would be like something to talk about and have a discussion. But I think that whenever you are choosing a platform, you always have to choose what the majority agrees with.
Yeah, you don't go with and also you don't go straight to meat.
Yeah.
Meat's something you do in a restaurant with some of the norms, right? You're like, oh, look at me. I'm eating some python meat with the norms at a restaurant. But in private, it's not an issue for you.
Yeah. So I think, you take these invasive species. You got the hippos in Colombia. You've got are they the baboons in Florida? You've got all the snake species in Florida. You got lionfish globally. You've got, I think
carp. I think carp here.
Carp here in a lot of lakes. You've got the cane toad, pretty much on every island in the Pacific. You've got
so lots of meats to choose from. I think is kind of what you hit on here.
Yeah, lots and lots of meats.
Like we should just be eating pure carp here in Utah.
It's very bony fish, but I do know that there is Rob, there's a lake in Utah that is taken over by carp. And there is one fishing vessel on that lake that exports the carp to China because that culture enjoys a good carp. Here, I don't think that we've really delved into the delicacy of the very bony carp fish.
Would you eat crocodile meat, Rob?
So I think I've had alligator before.
Yeah, you live in Carolina. You've had
no, I didn't have it here. But I
had it in Florida.
It doesn't. I'm not repulsed by the idea.
What did it taste like? Just out of curiosity.
Greasy chicken, maybe.
Yeah, they say it tastes like chicken. I really don't remember. That was when I used to drink more than I do now. So I really can't exactly recall. But I don't remember being grossed out.
Yeah, I had like chicken nuggety style alligator chunks from Gatorland of all places, like a gator preserve type of thing.
Joe Exotic thing going on.
Yeah. It's like going to the zoo and picking out like
lion meat.
Cage animal that you're going to eat for lunch.
Unless they died of natural causes, and then that I guess makes more sense when they're like, this was an 87-year-old lion that you're eating right now.
All right.
Like, that's why it's so stringy.
Yeah, crocodile meat. Look for it. Maybe coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At your
to a
local
Burger
grocer.
King in Japan, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I think the next logical step we'll see, like, a Burger King in Japan is offering the new crocodile burger, and then it's like, okay, that's like the next test balloon, and then
crocodile patty.
I did hear
Yeah.
a review. Was it KFC that came out with Impossible Nuggets?
Somebody did. Yeah, I saw that.
And I think that they're awful. Is the review
that
I
was what
read.
I saw. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
are real nuggets good?
I think real nuggets are objectively good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you just have to add more salt. Probably if you're making an imitation nugget that isn't good, it probably doesn't have enough salt in it.
Mm-hmm.
Or scraps. Skin,
That's-
gizzard,
okay,
bone.
beak,
beak scraps.
bee holes. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
Mhm.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's been some talk on this podcast about potentially people doing a mukbang, competitive eating.
Yep.
Mhm.
There was a woman who was part of a charity event. She ate 32 sushi rolls.
Of course she did.
Ooh, wow.
Yes.
Full rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Like just thinking about taking 32 rolls and mashing them up into one giant roll. That's
Mhm.
a lot of material.
Yeah. And it ended up with her going to the hospital.
As all great meals will end up.
Mm-hmm.
Your crock meat might end up this way too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry that
I read she was trying to get her money's
yeah.
worth, Rob.
Yeah, I don't know where I got the charity thing from. I think I gave her like too much credit. Maybe I got that confused with another story. I look at a lot of News AF on a Tuesday morning. So no, she was just at all you can eat sushi.
Yeah, that's what I read. And she was trying to get her money's worth, which is fair.
Yeah. And that means if she ate that many rolls at an all-you-can-eat sushi place, she had to have been there for like 19 hours.
By the way,
because
she ate more than rolls.
They are so slow at bringing stuff out, and that's on purpose to let you feel full before you get your next thing.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, I need this. And they're like, okay, that will be 35 minutes. And then they show up with that, and you're like, can I order another roll? And they're like, not till you're finished with that one. And then you finish that one, and then you're like, I want that. Like, it's a whole scheme.
Yeah. Danny, what else did she have with the rolls?
I want to say I read that she also had ramen and like
she
some other
started off
appetizers.
with miso soup.
Miso soup,
good.
yeah.
4
sounds yummy.
gyoza.
Okay,
And jalapeno poppers, Danny.
That's what it was. Jalapeno
Ooh.
poppers. I do remember reading that. So she was pre-gaming, and then she went after the 32 sushi rolls. I mean, this woman's a champion. She should consider a career in competitive eating because that's
Well, no, she couldn't handle it.
no. But I mean, she got to 32. And by the way, did she
Couldn't handle it.
She went to the
31
ER.
still would have been champion level.
Yeah, if she had stopped at 31.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know where your limits are until you really push yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what a champion does.
I think the thing about the sushi is that I think then you can eat it, but then I think the rice expands. That's part of the problem here.
Yeah. Well, and then also the other thing too is that if you eat that much sushi, even if you've never eaten fish in your life, you definitely have mercury poisoning. At that point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
consider all the plastics you've just consumed with your fish.
It's true.
Yeah.
Probably not the finest sushi. And I don't know. I've just always had this opinion of all you can eat sushi that it can't be good sushi, that it's probably faux fish, right?
No, I've been to some decent all you can eat sushi places. I'm not a sushi guy. I can eat sushi if I have to. And if something is exactly perfect how I want it, I will eat it. But I'm past the point of like, remember, like, I don't know, 15 years ago when everybody was like, sushi's the greatest meal you could ever eat. And everybody's like, well, let's go to sushi. Let's go to sushi. Let's go to sushi. I had my fair share. And I had a friend, like a really good friend, whose sister worked at a sushi restaurant. So we would go there sometimes.
Okay.
That friend was Danny Bryson.
That's true.
And
yes.
And now I'm over it. I don't need raw fish. I want a warm, delicious meal for dinner.
This woman's probably over it too. If you had this
No,
type
she's
of-
not. She says she's not.
She wants
It's-
more. She's
she
going to go to
said-
33 rolls. She's getting
She
33.
said that this has not ruined the experience. I will definitely
man.
eat sushi again.
Mhm.
She said that the experience has not ruined sushi for me or the all-you-can-eat experience. I did learn next time I need to listen to my body and take things slower.
I think that's probably words we can all live by a little bit. Listen to your bodies.
Yeah, the body does come with some haptic feedback. And I don't know if that applies to things other than your hands, but it is sending you messages constantly that
Yeah.
you're getting, and you're like,
It's basically a synapse from
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
location is feeling something straight to your brain.
yeah, as your stomach is stretching to the near tearing point.
Yeah, it's sending
Your-
synapses
your
through
mind
your...
is receiving messages that hopefully you're listening to.
Yeah.
And actually, by the way, Rob, that's what being a champion is also about, is learning to listen to your body and
Yeah.
to
Know its
live on
limits.
that line, but not
Mhm.
cross it.
Yeah, I do remember growing up learning a story about a stagecoach driver competition. And it was a wealthy person trying to choose a stagecoach driver for themselves personally.
Yep.
And they were trying to see, they said, okay, the competition is to see which stagecoach driver can get the closest to the cliff edge
On the mountain
without
road. Yeah.
on the mountain road without driving the stagecoach over the cliff. And so these stagecoach drivers were intent on getting, so the first guy gets a foot away from the cliff's edge, and everybody's like, wow, that was really close. The next driver gets like 6 inches from the cliff's edge. Everybody's like, wow, that's so close. The next driver gets a wheel hanging off the cliff edge, and they're like, wow, you can't get closer than that. And the next guy gets as far away from the cliff's edge as possible, and that is the guy that gets hired.
What a lesson.
What a lesson.
What a life
You know?
lesson.
Yeah, be a coward.
So 2 rolls in, Tyson, you're hired.
Leave.
Leave. Just
Yeah.
get up, walk away.
Yeah.
Just- you
I
can
think
walk
you
away.
order and leave. I don't think you even
You get it to go?
you don't
You
no,
don't. They don't allow
Hmm,
that.
Okay.
yeah, especially at all you can eat. I like to get in there and on an all you can eat. This is my thing. I get in there,
Yeah.
order a few things that I think I'm gonna like, but not so much that I'm gonna be wasteful. I taste every like 3 or 4 things. I taste the things and the
Sample.
things that I love. I finish eating. The things that I don't, I pass off to someone who does maybe love them
Pass
and
the
go from
baton.
there. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, the beauty of
Mhm.
all you can eat sushi, you don't have to wait that long unless you're waiting for them to bring more stuff out. But that was not the case for people at Disney World who
Ugh.
were waiting for quite some time for a dragon shaped popcorn bucket.
Mhm.
Danny, how long would you wait on a line at Disney World for something that was not even a ride?
Let me just say this. If you are a Disney World fan, you are a champion line waiter.
Yeah,
So
you love the waiting game.
I can't compare
Mhm.
because I am not a fan of Disneyland. So therefore I don't like lines and I don't have line skills.
Yes.
So no number you say will shock me because I'm assuming these are Disney people
Yes.
and they have been trained to wait in lines.
one of the 3 types of people.
Yes.
Yeah, Tyson's 3 types.
If I go into even a restaurant and I'm like, how long's the wait? And they say half an hour. My line back to them is, I've never had food that's worth waiting half an hour for, and then I leave. And I'm sure I'm impatient, but I would be so enraged. They waited 6 hours in line. That's how long these people waited, right?
7.
7. Ooh.
For a dragon shaped popcorn bucket.
Yeah, let me see if I can get you a good
Yeah, we
picture.
need
of
to
what
see a
this,
picture. Maybe that'll
what
change
this
all
thing looks like. And maybe you say like, oh no, I would wait 7 hours for that. Okay. All right. So
Is it something you can sell online now for hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Oh,
'Cause
maybe.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
a thing.
Let me see. All right. So yeah, it's just a drag. I don't even know what this
Disgusting.
character is.
So mad at Disney and these people for just succumbing to Disney's like, hey, they buy a ticket, then
Yeah.
they wait half of the time that ticket allows them in the park.
Yeah. So here's the thing. That this is called the Figment Popcorn Bucket.
What
It's
the-
modeled after a character from Epcot's various iterations of the Journey into Imagination ride. It's filled with rainbow-colored popcorn and shaped like a dragon. And $25 for the bucket is one of the several new and returning treats at the Pop Eats booth at Epcot. So if you wanted this, 7 hours to wait for this dragon with colored popcorn.
Nope. I'll tell you what I
Imagine.
do. I go to near the front of the line. I give someone $200
Mm-hmm.
to get me one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what it says here. eBay recorded a few that sold over $200.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
can resell those.
Yeah, but not for that much. $200 isn't a lot. But if you really wanted one personally yourself, instead of waiting the 6-7 hours, you just go to the front of the line and give somebody 150, 100. Somebody would do it for 100.
7
Somebody would
hours.
probably do it for 50.
What do you
Mm-hmm.
do for those 7 hours?
Just like, here's
I don't know.
$200. Buy 8 of them.
But not for anything. I mean, how much is your time at Disney World worth? Like, what is the cost of admission divided by the number of hours that you are there? At
These
what
are season
point
pass.
is this? Yeah, season pass. I
yeah,
guess.
these are season pass holders. Remember, professional line,
Yeah.
line people, and then they have to be season pass holders.
And they're probably taking surveys on their phone this entire time.
the whole time.
Who knows? 10
Get the
cents a
thing.
pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would do here, let's say there's another idea, is if you could get in line one of the first, just buy 100 of them and then just stand right next to the thing and sell them for
So the
$50.
online equivalent of what everybody experiences when something cool comes out, that all the bots buy them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At least here it was a physical location and you had to be there personally.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's probably a purchase limit. Some OMG in the chat said, and that's probably true. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm disappointed in these people. Disappointed in Disney. And
Why are you disappointed? Each person gets to decide what their time's worth, right? And just
Mhm.
because you don't value that dragon-shaped bucket, and you don't think it's worth 7 hours, doesn't mean it's not worth 7 hours to somebody else. That could be the highlight of their year, Tyson, is that dragon-shaped bucket of popcorn with the colorful popcorn.
You think they've already peaked in 2022?
Yeah, that's better to peak early on and know you got your peak. What if things go to pot? You'll
That's
always
true.
have your popcorn holder.
That is true.
So, you know what? If this is worth it to them, then that's their Everest.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Okay. And Orlando's Universal Studios, they clapped back at Disney. They tweeted out, meanwhile, Jurassic World #Velocicoaster is 35 minutes. Just saying.
Wait, the line is 35 minutes?
Yeah.
The line is 35 minutes.
Dude, that's not a clap back. They need to hire the guy from Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm sure he's available. You want a real clap back?
Waiting in line for 7 hours for this pink dragon filled with popcorn? Try eating you know what.
That doesn't even meet Tyson's requirement for a line. There's no ride good enough for Tyson to wait 35 minutes.
Would you wait
I'm assuming.
35 minutes for a great ride, Tyson?
I mean, I'm not a fan of great rides per se, but for my daughters, yes, I would.
Okay. Would your daughters like the Velocicoaster?
Not yet, but maybe in the future.
But
Also, depending on the trajectories and the movements of the Velocicoaster, I might simply wait in line with my daughters and then bypass the ride while they go on the ride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's what's going on there. Also, I got one other story about. Did you happen to catch that? I know you're not huge sports fans of the NFL, but The Rock popped on last night to talk with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and some people. Yeah, on the Manning cast.
On the Manning cast.
Yeah. And they noticed that The Rock has like something even more interesting than Tyson's lion painting in his background. The Rock apparently has a giant T-Rex skull in his home.
Oh, like a real legit one?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Whoa, hold on.
Yes.
I'm just looking this over. I didn't see this.
Okay.
I'm probably cutting off Rob.
Yes.
The T-Rex has a name. It's Stan.
Yes. Stan.
Stan sold at an auction to an undisclosed buyer for $31 million.
Yes.
And The Rock has it.
That's a flex right there. Just kind of
Mhm.
subtly. I wish I had something of value in my background rather than a lamp. But maybe I need to find the most valuable thing at my house for next week and just kind of put it in the background.
You think that's the real Stan, or do you think that is a replica?
A replica.
I'm kind of leaning towards replica. It has that replica look, doesn't it?
No,
It's a
You
dark-
don't put $31 million T-Rex skull in your house like that and then show it to people, because that is when you become a target.
What a Zoom background. Yeah. That does not belong at The Rock's house. That belongs in some place where it can be enjoyed by everyone at Universal Studios on the
Yep.
Velocicoaster.
35-minute wait.
but a $31 million T-Rex skull.
I agree The Rock is loaded and he has the money that he could afford a T-Rex skull like that. But I don't think even The Rock can put that on display and say, this is what I own, because you become a target.
You think someone will break into The Rock's house and steal the T-Rex skull? Do you
Probably
do you
weighs
think
a
the people
ton.
from the train?
I think the people from the train will ransack the house, and at the very least,
Yeah, The Rock
damage
can't
the
beat us
skull.
all up.
Yeah, that's right.
Plus,
And he may not even be able to beat anybody up. Maybe those muscles aren't even functional at this point.
Hmm.
We don't
they're
know.
all for show.
Yeah,
Can he rip
they're
a
all
T-shirt off?
aesthetic.
I don't
haven't
think
seen
so.
him rip a shirt off in a long time.
Depends on the seams. How strong
Yeah.
are those seams? By the way, I would love to have a T-Rex skull. I think that's
Okay.
super cool. But I've always
Nice.
kind of been confused with fossils when I go to
Mhm.
museums, because sometimes I feel like they're showing you cement poured replicas or plaster. You know what I mean? So it's like 10% authentic dinosaur bone surrounded by plaster replica. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to buy a $31 million stand, I want to know that it's all 100% authentic T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like this was a skull that was surrounded by its flesh when it laid down in that mud and died.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate the whole fossil thing where it's, a little bit of dinosaur and a lot of plaster.
Yeah.
And it
You know-
looks to me like he has some, that doesn't look like the real one.
Okay. We'll see. I do think that The Rock could eat 32 sushi rolls, because I've seen The Rock post sometimes on Instagram legendary cheat days, Danny.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of his.
He's a mukbanger.
Unofficial mukbangs. He does like
Mhm.
giant pizzas, like 5
Sushi. Yeah.
It's impressive.
When The Rock cheats, The Rock eats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gotta
You
get
can
that
smell what The
protein.
Rock is cooking from several blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Rock probably bench presses that T-Rex skull, for part of his exercise.
probably punches it like Rocky in the freezer with the meat.
It would shatter. He's probably got like 100 of them, 100 replicas that he has all over his house to punch at any given time.
No, he punches dead crocs to tenderize the meat.
Oh, wow.
Hangs him by the tail in his workout room and just totally softens up the meat with some nice punching.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think he spars with Michael Jackson?
Oh, that's the thing is The Rock would never want to be caught in public in a real fight, because how
Ever.
ruinous would it be for his career if he's doing the lean back cat paw striking
Yeah.
thing,
If
I
a
don't know how to
Michael
describe
Jackson
that.
impersonator beat him up,
right?
I mean,
and then
cook his T-Rex skull.
He's been
Exactly.
professionally trained for years and years and years on how to at least make it look like a real
look
fight.
like a fight. But when you're getting struck in the face, or that's a real possibility, I think
Yeah.
most people are like, no, thank you. I'll just lean back
Okay.
and
Yeah.
throw my hands out.
Although, if you were going to fight The Rock
Mhm.
and you were going to sort of time this out, I think that you plan it on the day that he has just finished the cheat day, 32 sushi rolls, 9 pizzas, and the jalapeno poppers. And that's when you step up to The Rock.
Just
Here-
punch him right in the stomach, and he'll just
Yeah.
projectile
Like
vomit.
King
Oh.
Hippo.
Hear me
Yeah.
out here too. What if The Rock hired a team of professionals to make a replica after he saw the T-Rex skull sell for 31 million, but it actually cost him 32 million to get this team of experts to build a replica.
Okay.
That's cool, but it doesn't have any of the authentic dinosaur bone.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the bone.
Yeah, dude. Danny loves the bone.
Danny, we know you love the bone, but do you love the bolt hole?
Even more than the bones.
Everyone
Okay.
loves the bolt hole.
All right. Let's go to Danny's bolt hole.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yes.
Nocturnal emission.
You know what the news really does is it gives us a glimpse into the other side, like some of the craziest stuff, right? But if you think about all the crazy things you see on the news that we talk about, I like to imagine all the things happening around the world that we never ever see, right?
Okay.
It's got to be absolutely wild. And there was a video that came out, and I didn't talk about it last week because I thought for sure it would show up. And it was the one of the woman carrying her pet lion through the streets.
Okay, I didn't see this.
So her pet lion escaped, and she went to go retrieve it. So she's holding this lion like this under its arms, and the lion is going absolutely crazy as she's carrying it, waddling down the street. Probably weighs as much as a grown man. And I just thought, if this person hadn't been awake, the person filming from the window, this event would have gone unnoticed. This woman would have carried her pet lion. We would never have seen what is, in my mind, one of the crazier things that I've seen. Like there's so much about the story that's weird. She owns a pet lion, which, a lot of boxers own pet lion, tigers occasionally, some famous people. So it's not unusual, but seems to be just a random person who owns a pet lion somewhere in the Middle East. And then it escaped. So it was out on the streets, probably with children playing nearby. And that she was able to find it and then attempted to carry it back while it's swatting at her face. And eventually she even puts it down. And the lion is just kind of like, upset that it got caught. And as someone who occasionally picks up a cat, I can't even imagine picking up a cat of this size. I can't even I touch my cat. It's like disgusting. And I hold it away from me. But to have to get in intimately with a lion to carry it down the street to return it home. I don't know. It just blew my mind. I'm surprised it didn't show up. If you haven't seen the video, and if you haven't seen the video of the train tracks, those are two videos you should see, because it's just like, understand when you watch this video of the woman carrying the lion that this probably has happened quite often in the past. This isn't the first time.
The lion gets out.
Yeah, the lion gets out and someone grabs their lion and carries it back to their house.
Where did I see this video of this woman carrying the lion?
It was all over. I fully expected
a big
it to show
lion,
up.
like almost as big as her.
Almost as big as her.
And she's leaning back, and she has it around the back from underneath the arms, and she's leaning way back to keep it from dragging.
Are you sure this wasn't the guy that fought Michael Jackson?
I was just going to say that this woman is so much more like, if you were to fight her, if she's not afraid of being swatted by a lion's paw, I bet you she goes right in on the Michael Jackson impersonator and just grapples him to the ground. Because if you can grapple a lion, I think that you can grapple a human. You should watch the video, though, and just realize that this type of stuff.
Let's see if I can pull it up. People are asking me to get the.
I can send you the link.
Yeah, I have it. I have it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here is a video of our woman carrying the lion down the street. Okay. Let's see.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. Now, when you told the story, Danny, I was imagining sort of like baby Simba, like in the Lion King, of like a little like lion cub.
No, like Tyson said, this lion is almost the same size as the woman carrying it. This is not a puppy-sized lion or a kitten. This is like at least a teenage lion. Look at that thing. And look at his hands going absolutely crazy and how well she's blocking it. Like this woman's a real street brawler, and like she could take on any
She's unfazed.
impersonator.
Yeah.
She's not afraid of taking one to the face for her lion.
And probably the thing that alerted the person making the video was the loud lion noises.
Yeah, if you like, our cat makes loud noises. I can only imagine what those would sound like coming from a lion. And so, yeah, probably woke up when he saw a woman wrestling with a lion out on the street. Again, this isn't some random event. These types of things take place all the time. And at News AF, our job here is to expose, you know, how strange the world we live in actually is. And
yes. And where did this happen, Danny?
Oh gosh, it was somewhere in the, I want to say like Oman or somewhere like that.
Wow.
Somewhere where they, you know, you have access to lion cells, which isn't something you have here.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you, does this make you want to get?
Oh, Kuwait.
Okay.
Does this make you want to get a bigger cat, Danny?
No. You know, I look at my cat and I've seen enough mountain lions in the wild that there is, even in a house cat, there's a lot of actions that it does that are very similar to wild cats, which is interesting. It's like you haven't taken all the wild out of even a house cat. The way they pounce on things, just their hunting instincts. It's very similar to the things you see when I'm out looking at mountain lions. So, no, I would not want a larger one. It's just the stink gets worse, the claws get bigger, and eventually I'll find myself out in the middle of the street, 2 a.m, wrestling my pet lion back to my house.
Well, here's the thing: is if you know how they say that cat urine sometimes can breed some type of bacterial infection in the brain that makes you more sympathetic towards cats. Does big cat urine have an even more potent urine that makes you even more sympathetic towards cats?
It's like a cat roofie. Just has to pee in your face for you to have some sympathy and do its bidding.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the way they say that, like, the cat lady, quote unquote, exists is because
ends up with more cats.
You react this
I
way.
couldn't figure out why people have so many cats, and now Tyson, what you've said makes total sense.
Yeah,
the cats brainwash you with their urine.
Yeah,
that's correct. That's I think that is a scientific thing.
Well, if you've said it out loud, it's a fact already.
Okay, it's on the internet.
So it's on the internet. You just gave birth to a fact. No need to check it.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Pass out the cigars. Yeah.
Giving birth to a fact.
Yes. All right. Dan, anything else from the bolt hole you want to share?
Yeah. If you're over 45, don't shovel snow, because I did read a report that said that that could be real bad for you. The age to end shoveling snow is 45. Just
45.
PSA out
All
there.
right.
The weight, why is that? For your back? Is that for your heart?
Heart, back, all sorts of things happen if you're out of shape and shoveling snow at 45. Death
what
is
if you're
right
in
around the
shape?
corner. I'm hoping that actually you have a better chance of surviving snow shoveling.
Is that what The Rock does?
But you still avoid it, Danny. And
no, I do shovel snow.
Okay.
But now I'm thinking maybe the time to buy a snowblower.
But also your wife is much younger. So she has a good 8 years of shoveling snow in her, right?
That's true. You know,
and you said she needs to get stronger.
She does. Whenever we carry things together, we don't really carry things together. I carry them, and she does help a little bit. So maybe I'll put her on this snow shoveling the minute I can't. I'll tell her I can't.
You have a note. Print out that article, Danny.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, go to that article, print it out, show it to your wife, and let her know that you're trying to kill me. You are killing me by making me shovel that snow.
There was I had a conversation with my brother who lives in Utah who used to shovel snow, and I helped him shovel snow over the holidays. He has a snowblower now, and he actually was just like, I used to like shoveling snow because you felt like you were getting a workout, and it does a better job than a snowblower, because a snowblower a lot of times leaves like a little film of slick.
Yep.
And he was like, but now it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So he blows his snow, but I took a shovel out, and it was the classic man versus machine.
Dude, you were so close to death, you didn't even know.
I did a better job. Mine looked cleaner. Mine was closer to the asphalt. He probably got more square footage covered in the time that I shoveled, but not by much.
Yeah. Stephen Fishback tweeted this week, I get deep soul pleasure shoveling the sidewalk in front of my house like the suburban dad I have become.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a suburban dad,
Mhm.
then I mean,
You have
there
to-
is
Normally, suburban
something
dads buy snowblowers though, so they can talk about their snowblowers. with other suburban
eventually, but also making those crisp, clean lines on that sidewalk with a shovel
dads. Those look good.
does
Yeah.
look nice.
Yeah, and you know who was a real badass? Remember that guy from Home Alone?
Yep. The
That-
salt salt
Shovel
trash can guy.
That
Salt trash
eventually
can
at
guy,
the
yeah.
end, those guys are going to kill Kevin McAllister, and then he comes in and
his snow
whacks them
shovel.
both with a shovel.
What
I
would he
mean-
have done with a snowblower?
I mean, that guy changed the 90s.
Dude.
Could you imagine
We all
Home
saw
Alone
Fargo.
ends with Kevin McAllister like grisly murdered in front of a young viewing audience?
An audience,
That's
yeah.
the movie HBO would have
That
made.
changed a generation.
Yeah. Yeah, that really did. And it would have been, imagine how our lives would be different now
Mhm.
had that.
And that
played
guy
out.
was hella old.
Yeah, he was very old, Danny.
Mhm.
But that's when those guys were in shape back then, the hard men of the 90s. You know, we don't have that anymore where it's like, oh, your shoulder feels like it's out of socket. Well, just keep
Yeah.
lifting till that pain goes
Yeah, he's
away.
like, I shovel
Yeah.
every day, and I've got shrapnel from Korea in my arms.
Yeah.
Both arms.
And he had a family that was like, Dad, will you spend time with us? He's like, no, I got to get out and shovel because nobody else will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He fought with his son about it to the
Fought
point
with his
where
son.
he couldn't
Yeah.
see his granddaughter anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All because his first love was shoveling.
As the suburban dad that he
Yes,
is.
yes, he's like, I'm a suburban dad.
He was
love
a suburban
I take-
grandpa.
I take great pleasure.
But when he was younger, he was a dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm understanding is you guys are saying the
pleasure.
the shoveling drove his family away.
That was the wedge. Yes.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
I think
The mountain of snow was a metaphor.
that was
Yeah.
the underlying. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
we know.
Yeah.
We knew as viewers that's why, but they didn't specifically.
And
tell
the
us that's
salt
why.
was the salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seeing this family across the street really
We-
was.
It represented the salt in the wound, but it also represented him being the salt of the earth.
Mhm.
You know, we've just pointed out another danger of shoveling. So it can give you a heart attack and it can drive your family away. So
if you fall too much for the
In
sweet
love.
siren song of the shoveling the snow,
yeah.
So
the deep soul pleasure it gives you.
mhm, yeah.
Mhm.
There's probably a balance. I mean, everything in
And-
moderation.
And Danny, this is a metaphor for you with two Oculus Rifts in the house that I feel like that the same allure of the deep soul pleasure of shoveling the snow could be for a lesson for you that don't fall too in love with the metaverse.
It's
Dude,
true.
I take great pleasure in watching both my kids on those things. It is,
Yeah.
it looks so ridiculous to see
So-
them in the same room.
Danny, the best thing is I used to have Google Glass
Yeah.
or Google Glasses, not Google Glasses, Google 3D, whatever it was. And I would cast what the screen was showing to my TV so I could see it. And then I'd put it on Bergen and see her like react to stuff. So I can't even imagine if there was a way for you to do that so you could see what they were seeing. So you
I
knew
can. I
what they
do.
were
I
reacting to.
watch what they're
Mhm.
doing.
And then the other thing too is we're talking about the metaverse. My dad sent me an invite and was like, does this look like something we should go to? And it was like Crypto Bros Conference 2022. And then at the end, it was like Meta Masquerade. And I was just like, my dad has no clue what a Meta Masquerade, Metaverse Masquerade is. And I was just like, Dad, A, this sounds like it's for nerds. B, it's either stuff I already know or it's stuff that's going to be so far over my head that attending this thing isn't going to matter to me. And also, Dad, you're going to have to get an Oculus Rift to go to the Meta Masquerade party at the end of it all. I was just like imagining my
Stick to your snow shovel, Dad.
yeah.
Stick to your snow shovel. The things you know.
I was like, my dad doesn't even know what he's sending right now with the metaverse masquerade ball at the end of it all, dude. And so what is that? Just like an eyes wide shut type of thing in the metaverse?
You're going to end up at a virtual Caligula with a virtual ball gag in your mouth.
With a shrimp cocktail platter, a virtual shrimp cocktail platter.
Watching
from
poorly
the-
animated people
for the Caligula.
attempting to
Yeah.
engage.
Did you see that thing? The spoof online and with the they were like, Mark Zuckerberg invited me to this meta, like to test out this meta thing, and it was this floppy Mark Zuckerberg animation with hiding a knife behind his back, and he was like, oh, I'm in the metaverse, and then at the end he stabs the guy, and he was like, that was pretty cool.
Oh my God. If you die in the metaverse, do you die in real life, Danny?
I think you live more.
Yeah, I think that
If somebody
probably feel
murders you in the
alive than
metaverse,
ever.
you still live in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you live even more because I think you're not allowed back in the metaverse.
Oh,
That would be cool.
Now you're really living.
Yeah,
That-
that
that's
actually
what
would be
they
cool.
say. To live in this world is
You must die
To die,
in the
you have to die
metaverse.
in the metaverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you see your own mortality. Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. Well, good luck with everything, Danny.
Yeah, I got a lot going on. How about you,
Yeah.
Tyson?
What, this week?
Yeah.
No snow shoveling whatsoever here in
Stay
Arizona,
safe.
sunny Arizona.
Yeah.
But it might rain.
No
which
deep
means
soul pleasure for you, Tyson.
No deep soul pleasure for me yet. And
Unless you go to
then-
someplace snowy in the metaverse.
Yes, exactly. We got Pickle Pod, which is coming up on Thursday, and we've been crushing it. Just like lots of pickleball. Everybody turns to us for pickleball content. I chose this. So pickleball is about to be in sports books soon
Well,
I don't know what
you
that
could
means.
bet on pickleball.
on professional pickleball.
Oh my God.
I chose a sleeper pick for last week's tournament that ended up winning, which in theory would have won all of our listeners a ton of money. And now I have a interview with a betting media company to talk about betting in pickleball after my dope sleeper pick from last week. And then I just finished watching all of Micronesia, Survivor Micronesia, on 1.5 speed on Netflix, because we're going to talk to Eric, Sari, Natalie, and Parv about that season
Wow.
specifically for the Survivor off season. And those interviews start tomorrow.
Okay. That's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm really excited to talk to Eric, because 15 years of just deep, deep, deep regret for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Not deep soul pleasure for Eric Reichenbach.
No.
Whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah, the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. Okay. And then we've been having a lot of fun with the Amazing Races back. Of course, did some Survivor 41 interviews that you could check out, plus Joe Millionaire, much more. I'm going to be.
How you liking Joe Millionaire? You've been watching it?
I'm hating it.
Okay. Not worth watching?
You should listen to the podcast, but no, you don't need to watch it.
Okay. So I'll listen to the podcast, but do not watch the show.
Do not.
Whoa.
Unless you are like trying to have like some kind of penance for something you did in the metaverse, then you can skip watching the show.
I've been watching Yellow Jackets. I just finished that finale.
Yes.
Yellow Jackets. That's what Rob used to take.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
There's a whole show about it, Danny.
Oh, awesome.
And I have to say, I love in an age where part of the goal of the new show is to create an intro so alluring that you refuse to push the skip button on it while watching the show. This Yellow Jacket show goes the complete opposite and creates this seizure-inducing intro that if you do not push skip fast enough, you will end up like blowing a gasket somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's my main gripe about the show is that, but I talked to Stephen Fishback and he loves the intro because the movie is half set in or not the movie, the show is half set in the 90s, and he's saying it's a quintessential 90s style intro. So
Okay, interesting.
to each their own.
All right.
He likes shoveling snow. I do not. He loves the intro to Yellow Jackets. Me, not a fan, but still friends. Shows you that anything's possible, really.
Anything's possible. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching News AF this week. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it, guys.